of my lovely ladies. Today I am here doing another video in my How to Be a Pinup Model series, and this one is a really serious one. I've done posing and networking and all of that fun stuff, but this one I'm going to do is about professionalism. So there are a couple of things that I just wanted to kind of go over with you guys, just to make sure that you guys are on the straight and narrow when you are entering the pinup modeling world, or even just the professional world in general. So the first thing that I see all the time is girls being late. Always be on time. There's an old saying that 15 minutes early is on time is late, and 15 minutes late is fired. And it's a really good general rule to have, especially if you live somewhere in, like LA, like I do. Traffic is very unpredictable. So for the most part, when I need to be somewhere at a certain time, I give myself an extra hour on top of what I think it will take with traffic. And then that way, if I'm early, I can just hang out in my car. I always keep a book in my car, but it's so much better to be early, especially when you start getting into really serious auditions. A lot of the time, if you are late, you won't even step in the door. So the next thing I want to talk about is professionalism at photo shoots. A lot of the time that you do a shoot, especially if you have a team of hair and makeup, or if you get along with your photographer really well, they start to feel like you're friends, and you start to kind of loosen up and you start to kind of talk. And that's totally okay to talk about stuff, and even to talk about like life stuff, but be really careful not to trash talk, which is kind of a general rule all in all, but I think it's really more prevalent at photo shoots. The first time you meet somebody, if you start trash talking somebody else, odds are the person you're talking to is going to think, well, what are they going to say when I leave here? And it's just not very professional, and it's just not a good way to conduct business. Same thing goes with the trash talking for every other aspect, especially online. Be really, really careful what you say online. You always have to kind of think about what you type before you type it, because once it's out there forever. And once it's there, and there's no taking it back, even if it wasn't meant to be how it was taken. Another thing that I see all the time, which would be my number 3 thing, is accusations of stealing. And this can be a lot of different things. I've worked with photographers who think other photographers have stolen their set ideas. I've worked with models who think that other models have stolen their poses or hairstyles or whatever it may be. One thing to remember, especially in the pinup world, is that none of us were here first. Pinup has been a thing for 60 plus years, and odds are if you're doing something, somebody else has done it before you. Obviously, there are exceptions to the rule if it's something like really, really obvious, but even then, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, and if somebody tries to do what you're doing, just do it better. Conversely, another thing with professionalism is not copying people. Obviously, everybody is inspired by certain things. You know, I see girls out there with the cherry Dollface hair, and that's cool. But I have to be honest, it is kind of strange when I'm flipping through pictures and I'm like, hey, I never shot in that outfit, and somebody has me down pat, like hair and clothes and poses and all of that. It's kind of disconcerting. It feels a little strange. So when you're on the other side, if you're being inspired by somebody, be inspired, but use a little bit of creativity and kind of put your own spin on something that you're inspired by. Another thing, or another way to keep yourself professional, is to not be a diva. I see this behavior all the time, especially with models. I mean, it can range from anything from weird demands like, you know, I'll only shoot on the left side of my face, or I only shoot from noon to 3, or, you know, I won't shoot in direct sunlight, or it's just weird things like that. If you book a job, if you are hired to do a modeling job, you do it. It might hurt, it might suck, you might be hot, you might get a sunburn, whatever it is, but that's your job. So the more you complain, word travels fast in this industry, and the more likely you are to not be booked again. So yeah, sometimes shoots suck. They really do. I've had some of the worst experiences in shooting. I've also had some of the best, but the worst ones you just have to kind of grin and bear it. The exception is if your safety is compromised. That is one exception, like if you're on a high rise and there's no harness. Probably should say something. Same thing goes for travel. If you're traveling for a job and they've booked you maybe in the wrong seat, or there's a problem with your hotel, or, you know, they accidentally charge your credit card instead of the company's card, or whatever it may be, those things happen. They just do. It's human flaw and whatever. Don't be a dick about it. I've seen girls that freak out over these little things. Oh no, you have to sit in the middle seat for a 2-hour flight instead of the window. Big deal. Life goes on. You're getting paid for a job. It's gonna be okay. Don't give attitude. Be gracious. Say thank you. That kind of leads into my next one, is be appreciative. I think pleases and thank yous go so far when you're working with people. Be pleasant, leave your bullshit at home if you have, you've just fought with your boyfriend, or your parents are getting a divorce, or just anything. If you're on your period and you're just PMSing, leave it at home. Nobody wants to work with that person, and nobody honestly really cares about your personal stuff when you're working a job. I can't tell you how many jobs or how many times I've booked jobs with the same team multiple times, honestly just because they said that I was fun and they wanted to hang out with me again. It may not even be that I was the best model for the job, but they're gonna pick a model that is fun and pleasant over a model that's kind of just douchebag, honestly. But you don't have to come in guns blazing when you want something done that's not being done. They always say that you attract more flies with honey than you do with vinegar, and it's super true. Another thing is, if you're on a job, limit your selfieing and your social networking. Be sure to check with the production, whoever hired you, that it is okay to tweet or Instagram or whatever from where you are, because sometimes they want it to stay confidential and they don't want people to see behind the scenes stuff, especially before the project has aired. So be really careful about that. But also, it's not super professional to just sit and take a million selfies when you're on a job. It's distracting. It's distracting to everybody around you. So go in the bathroom, take one, show everybody how cute you look, and then put your phone away for the rest of the day. Or take a couple of pictures while you're on set and then put the phone away, and then when you're off set, then you can post them everywhere and comment and do all of that kind of stuff. So just be careful with your phone. My last piece of advice, and this one is huge, and you would be surprised at how many people actually do this. Do not show up to a job drunk and or high. I've worked fashion events, I've worked photo shoots where girls get shit-faced, just wasted. And not only do you not look cute when you're drunk, but it's super unprofessional. You look obnoxious to your employers. This is another thing too, is sometimes I don't think girls realize they go into these events that are super fun events and everybody's loose and relaxed, and there might be alcohol there, for other clients, or even for you, like have a glass of wine or sip on a little bit of whiskey or whatever. But there's definitely a line of professional drinking and being wasted. And you don't want to cross that line, because 9 times out of 10, most companies will not hire you again. But a general good rule is just drink water, no alcohol. And that is it. That is all my advice on how to be professional. I mean, it's pretty much common sense stuff, you would think, but these are all things that I've literally seen happen time and time and time again on set. But I think above anything else, my biggest piece of advice is just to be kind to each other. There's no reason to knock each other down. There's no reason to trash talk. If you have a problem with somebody, go to them directly, solve it. Everybody can be friends, and we can all live in this little world together. So hopefully you guys found this useful and interesting, and thank you for watching my videos, and good luck to all of you future aspiring pinups.